Hello and welcome to Nationwide. We're reaching you live on the network service of the NTA. I'm Hawa Salihu Adama. We start today with the latest on COVID-19 in Nigeria. Report from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC) indicates that as at midnight 20th May 2020, a total of 284 new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed in the country. The breakdown of the figures shows that Lagos has 199 new cases, Rivers 26, Oyo 19, while the FCT and Borno have 8 each. Others are Plateau 7, Jigawa 6, Kano 5, Abia 2, with Ekiti, Delta, Kwara and Taraba recording 1 case each respectively. With this development, Nigeria now has a total of 6,677 cases of COVID-19, out of which 1,840 were discharged, while 200 patients have been lost to the virus. Better synergy amongst government at all levels and health partners has been advocated as the antidote for a more robust national response to the coronavirus pandemic. Cross River State Governor Professor Ben Ayadi said this while speaking alongside other guests on COVID-19 situation reports in States on NTA's program Good Morning Nigeria. Olusheye Adeagbo completes the report.
As at 21st of May, information on the NCDC web page indicates that 35 states in Nigeria, including the FCT, have COVID-19 cases except Cross River and Kogi State. Cross River State Governor Professor Ben Ayade explained that technical and strategic actions helped maintain the state's current COVID-19 status. The governor says governments at national and sub-national levels, as well as health authorities, should engage in more practical strategies to help in winning the war against the pandemic in Nigeria.
Why are we flying in reverse transcriptase into Nigeria? Why are we not producing it? I mean, just imagine if this border closure continues for long, you will run out of drugs because even our drug manufacturing companies in Nigeria import the active ingredients.
Speaking from Enugu State, Commissioner for Information said there are challenges on the closure of the borders, but the state has embarked on strategic monitoring with focus on stopping community transmission.
Right now, council chairmen in border areas are living at the border. Not just withstanding that, His Excellency has also been relating and engaging very closely with his border governors in Benue, in Ebonyi, in Anambra.
Representatives from Ekiti State and the LCT also explained their response to the fight against COVID-19.
We are working seriously on advocacy and sensitization because we felt people still need to know so much about this disease and believe in it so that they take personal responsibility of their situation.
The guests were unanimous in their suggestion that citizens must adhere to all safety measures to protect themselves from the virus. In Abuja, Olusheye Adeagbo, NTA News.
And a 160-bed isolation center equipped with state-of-the-art facilities has been inaugurated in Osogbo to assist the Osun State government in containing the spread of coronavirus. The Coalition Against COVID-19, CACOVID, provided the facility. Femi Afariogu completes the report.
With effort still ongoing to discover the vaccine and cure for coronavirus, the private sector-led Coalition Against COVID-19 in Nigeria, CACOVID, is helping to bridge the gap in the health sector in the state. Osun State is the latest to enjoy the gesture with the renovation of a health center well-equipped with 100 beds and consumables, while state government provided additional 60 at Mercyland Isolation Center in Osogbo.
We believe that there should be a proper handshake between public sector and private sector, what they call PPP, public-private partnership. So we believe that if it is okay for the public sector, of course, there will be conducive atmosphere for private sector to also thrive.
Osun has 8 isolation centers with a total of 342 beds and is still striving to reduce the active cases from 6 to 0.
Our administration had swiftly adopted creative and proactive methods to manage the coronavirus pandemic since its birth in Nigeria. We have dedicated funds, human resources, and indeed focused resolve to beat this virus.
Kakovid promised to distribute palliative soon to states in furtherance of its fight against COVID-19. In Oshogbo Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
And to talk more on the COVID isolation donation to Osun State, we have joining us on telephone the Osun State Commissioner for Information, Mrs. Funke Adenike Egbemode. It is good to have you, madam.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Okay. How well is Osun State faring in the fight against COVID-19?
Thank you very much. You will remember that we were one of the very first few states to lock down the states, even when we had just one case. So right from the time the first case was recorded in Nigeria, we had been preparing for it, and we have not slowed down. Whether we've not had any new case in a week, but we keep sensitizing our people. We keep equipping our isolation centers. We keep training our health workers and everybody who is part of the responding team. So it's an ongoing activity for us. We are not relenting or slowing down because we are not getting cases every day. So we are doing all we can.
Why you would say you are on the right track? What would you consider the greatest impediment to the state fight against this pandemic?
I would say the borders that people continue to breach. That's what I would say is the only challenge that we are facing. Of course, we would like more funding from well-meaning Nigerians from the federal government so we can continue to boost our response activities and our isolation centers to continue to get better. But largely, we have had very cooperative citizenry, and the governor and our health workers have been quite cooperative and supportive of this fight against the pandemic.
Okay, you earlier told me that what we have now is a partial lockdown, but you're back to total lockdown again at the weekend. Do you intend to relax the weekend total lockdown due to Ramadan festivities, especially for the Eid prayers?
We will have I'm part of the task force. We're having a meeting after this program, and we will discuss it again. We will review it with the team from NCDC and the federal task force, those who are working with us. We will ask questions from the responders, the people manning our emergency numbers, to see whether there is reason for us to relax. Otherwise, the governor is determined to keep the state safe, is determined that we do not have community infections. So whatever the specialists, whatever the doctors, the health workers tell us is what will inform what we are going to do. We will not take any emotional or sentimental steps.
Okay, you said no community transmission so far, but you have about 6 active cases. Here, the isolation center is increasing. Now 3 in number. Are you preparing for a spike, or it's just mere anticipation?
We do not want to be caught unawares, just like we started our campaign and sensitization programs long before we had our first case. We just don't want to be caught napping. We want to be sure that we have intensive care units functional in case any of the cases move from mild to severe. mild to moderate to severe case situation. That's why we just keep working on everything on all sides. Even our campaign, our sensitization programs have not reduced. So that's what we're doing.
Okay, Mrs. Funke Adenike Egbemo, the Commissioner for Information, Osun State. We truly appreciate your joining Nationwide today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Moving on, concerted efforts are currently on to unravel the mystery behind the COVID-19 in Kogi State. Great thinkers and scientists are looking at the peculiarities of the confluent state as it joins the rest of the country to seek solutions to the threats of the coronavirus pandemic. Let's now join Francis Udojo for more.
The background music tells the story here in Kogi as life remains almost as normal. Elsewhere, fear and anxiety is created by COVID-19. This is not replicated here in the state. Arguably, more than 75% of the working population in Kogi State depend largely on daily income, and a lockdown of their businesses could also create an unmanageable scenario.
So, had it been they had the coronavirus here, then we lock down. Bros, how can we go keep it for Kogi State?
We know what is happening in the whole world, but God made the case of Kogi State a different thing.
It's a lockdown, they how we go take manage.
With this in mind, the state government's interface with intellectuals and experts in genetics and animal breeding, neuroanatomy and cell biology is aimed at reaching a meeting point of how best to manage the crisis of a pandemic in a state like Kogi.
If you are a researcher, My Excellency, and you know the result that you are going to get before you enter into a research, then whatever you have used to do that research is no more the research material. You that is doing the research now becomes the research material, and the materials you are using now becomes the researcher, and that is why they will not have any answer to COVID-19.
Okay, if you cannot produce food that we will eat, we will all die of hunger.
The presumption is that Kogi is on the right track, having taken proactive steps and observing medical guidelines of safe hygienic practices and other directives which account for the current zero COVID-19 case in the state.
If it is the COVID-19 as they want to paint it, they can't step into Kogi State here.
The lecture series draws attention to the need for the Nigerian authorities and medical professionals to subject claims by international bodies, organizations, and foundations on COVID-19 to thorough verification. From Lokoja, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
We take some messages now. More COVID-19 related stories when we return. Do stay.
I wish to once again commend the frontline workers across the country who, on a daily basis, risk everything to ensure we win this fight. For those who got infected in the line of duty, rest assured that government will do all it takes to support you and your families during this exceedingly difficult period. I will also take this opportunity to assure you all that your safety, well-being, and welfare remains paramount to our government. I am using this opportunity to express our deepest condolences to the families of all Nigerians that have lost their loved ones as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This is our collective loss, and we share your grief.
We have observed the lockdown. We have practiced the measures in order to curb the spread of the virus, but we can do better. The coronavirus spread is increasing daily, and only together can we cut down the numbers and defeat the spread of the virus. Remember, COVID-19 is not a death sentence, and a recovered patient cannot spread the disease. Do not stigmatize. Do not hesitate to report any case, or if you have come in contact with anybody that has been infected with COVID-19. If you have cough and fever, please stay at home and call your state hotline. Find state numbers at www.covid19.ncdc.gov.ng. Remember, It is for your own good and for the good of every Nigerian. Let us do better and defeat the virus. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
This is a very important message. Operation wear your mask, especially for people who don't old. No forget, your body no tranga like before. You not even tranga like your children or your grandchildren. So therefore, always wear your mask for this pandemic period. No they to receive visitors, so even if not your grandchildren. Make extra mask where you go fit wash, make like 2 and dash your neighbor 1. And if they come out for house, wear your mask always. And if you come back, wash your hand with soap and running water to avoid coronavirus. Make you for live long for your children and your grandchildren. No forget, Operation wear your mask, especially for people who don't old. Protect me, I protect you. Na coalition of societies for the right of older persons in Nigeria. Join body with National Orientation Agency, NOA. Bring on this message.
There is a lot of fake news and report circulating, especially on social media, on the coronavirus. Do not believe or partake in the spread of these fake reports. If it is not on the official website or news from the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, disregard such report. Only together can we beat this virus. Only together can we overcome this pandemic. Follow the instructions and guidelines provided to combat this virus. Most importantly, stay at home. Self-isolate, regardless of your status. The virus doesn't move unless we move. Let us work together to better Nigeria. Together, we can do this. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Africa's largest television network.
It's nationwide. We now take you straight to our Lagos Network Center for more reports with Dotun. Dotun, it's your turn.
Thank you, Awa. The concept of regular hand washing with soap under running water is the first among the list of measures people must imbibe to prevent COVID-19. With the easing of the lockdown, the Nigerian government mandated businesses, public offices and spaces to ensure that hand washing points are present in all facilities.
Practical measures you can take.
To avoid COVID-19 comes need for regular hand washing as a precautionary move against getting infected. In Nigeria, like the world over, hand washing has become a necessary ritual. But while some have taken action in many government and corporate organizations by strategically putting hand washing units in their environments, the same can't be said of public places which are a melting pot for buyers and sellers.
Tell everybody that they should wash their hands, clean up their places, and they normally do it.
Public transportation is another area of concern and covers commuting on land and water.
They called us at Ikeja. They educated us, the stakeholders.
And at every entrance, they have to wash on basin to wash their hands.
Meanwhile, police stations and other essential public offices like hospitals and shopping malls have all ensured compliance.
Like the supermarket, even from our own house, before you go in, there is water there for you to wash your hand and soap.
And if you are going to every police formations now, so not only will your the temperature will be taken, the washing of hands, and even the sanitizer, every police formations.
However, there is the renewed call for government to provide potable water, especially in rural areas, to enable dwellers comply with the new normal. The Nigeria Customs Service Western Marine Command has seized cannabis sativa worth more than 1.2 billion naira along the western waters in Shasha area of Lagos. The seizure, regarded as the largest in the history of Nigeria Customs Service in terms of size, weighs more than 12,000 kilograms compressed in 16,000 wraps.
The jumbo bags are filled with cannabis. And DPV, that is the duty paid value, is over 1.2 billion. So I've been trailing it for close to 2 weeks. When they left their base in Ghana, through the sea, until then I asked my officers to be on the sea. So they were on the sea for 3 days. But on sighting them at a very far distance, they jumped into the sea. So we're on them. We're not sleeping at all. 24 hours surveillance on the high sea.
The Comptroller, Western Marine Command of the Nigeria Customs Service, Olugbega Peters. More details on that seizure will come in subsequent bulletins. A suspect is in custody of the Nigeria police in Lagos for carrying out a fake funeral for herself. Annie Daniels has details.
The suspect is a 19-year-old girl who came to Lagos in search of greener pastures. According to her, her reason for faking her own death is to break free from family pressure.
My mom do call me, but she'll say my younger brother is sick, but I'll tell her I'm not working for anybody. I'm only working to go back to school and become great. And when I become great, they can ask me for whatever. I won't refuse.
The suspect confessed to having informed few of her friends about her plans, but she never envisaged it would turn out to be a criminal offense.
Someone told my uncle that Sylvester is my boyfriend, so he decided to chat up with Sylvester. So them and Sylvester were now working together. So when Sylvester told them too that I was truly dead, so Sylvester decided to show them my corpse, the one I sent to him as my own corpse. So he decided to show them. After showing them, and they were like, So then I went to open another new Facebook account, which will make them not to know that I was the one.
Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer Bala Elkanah confirms the reports.
We got a petition from a family that they saw on social media that their daughter died and she is secretly buried by her friends. And the friends posted that the girl said they should not inform her family that she is dead. So that became a concern for them, and they approached the police to investigate.
Bala Elkanah says the law must take its course. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Awa in Abuja.
Very well, Dotun. And here in Abuja, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Onyema, has confirmed that 292 Nigerians have been successfully repatriated from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In a Twitter message, the minister said the stranded Nigerians have been brought back courtesy of the Saudi authorities. Most of the returnees are nursing mothers and children. The federal government, the minister said, is committed to evacuating stranded Nigerians whose visas might have expired amid the coronavirus pandemic that has put on hold air travels. And I understand the PTF on COVID-19 is now ready for the daily briefing.
Nigeria